Stolmany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome. Well, it looks like it's broad daylight out there right now still, and it absolutely is here in southern Alberta as we enjoy the beautiful, bountiful spring that it has been so far. We just got through some thunder snow here about half an hour ago, just as I was leaving work, and now all of a sudden, like, it's sunny, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's plus 10 again, and it's an absolute beauty of an afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call it here in southern Alberta tonight. But obviously, we got some big news overnight. The lamest result that could play out in the standings in terms of mass chaos in my eyes was, well, the Oilers playing the Kings in the 2-3. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, for the Edmonton Oilers, it is indeed the LA Kings as the opponent, and it is as well not winning the Pacific Division. So we were this close. Like, that's the thing. The Oilers made me look about as bad as possible all the way down this stretch when I said the Oilers won't win the Pacific Division. But then, you know what? Vegas pulled it out. Los Angeles pulled it out. Seattle really just didn't do themselves any favors going into the last little bit. So Seattle will play a winner out in the Western Conference's Central Division. So we'll see how that all pans out for them. But it'll be interesting to see everything from here. And I'm just trying to see if I can get the live chat up. Nobody yet throwing anything in there, but I just want to give you a quick kind of synopsis. I don't think I'm going to be quite as fiery as I might have been last year previewing the Kings and Oilers. I think last year I might have said it was in a 5-game series. Now, obviously, that was hoping for the best and not seeing the weird car crash that was game number 1 between the Kings and the Oilers. So, basically, the keys to the series, I guess, to start it off would be just simply, in my mind, going out there and simply just don't give up a bad game 1, right? Win game 1 by a big margin and get the job done. That would be number 1 for us right now. And then number 2, just go out there and win this series as handily as possible. The more games you go on, the more shenanigans you let the Kings run on you, the more likely you are to see somebody get hurt, the more likely you are to see something bad happen. And that's where, right, is just try and tidy this one up. Not saying the Oilers will win in 5, but the Oilers need to try and win this one in 5 because you want to go out there and get this done. Obviously, 2, right, win on home ice. As much as it'd be nice to sweep them, I would much prefer to win every single series, including that final one sometime in mid-June, on home ice. That would be fantastic. And oh, and you just searched for a playoff preview, and I answered well. I'm glad I could do that. I was just firing up. I've got a couple of plans tonight. I was on my way home. Brian, welcome in. But I was on my way home, and then I got rerouted. There's actually a traffic incident, I believe, or something going on the way home out of Airdrie. So I ended up rerouting back to the QE2, and then called up some people and found some dinner plans. So I've got some dinner plans for some folks of mine that are flying out of town here tonight. So uh, yeah, you know what? That's all right. So we'll do the car preview instead and figure that out there. But yeah, you know what? I think for the Oilers, like I was saying, it's just one of those things. Go out there and win this one as fast as you possibly can, because I want to make sure we don't face shenanigans from the Kings. We don't face any injuries. We don't lose anybody for the long stretch, right? You think about what a healthy Leon Draisaitl would have done down the stretch in the playoffs. We have a healthy Darnell Nurse entering the playoffs this year. Plus, we have a Matthias Ekholm. So there's much more going for the Oilers entering these playoffs than there was last year against the LA Kings. But now we just got to go out there and get that job done where you do indeed don't cost yourself anything more than you need to through the first round. Obviously, I think we'd all say, and this nights this year, I don't have to convince anyone that the Oilers are going to beat the Kings in the first round. I think we would all say the Oilers should be able to handle the Kings no problem in the first round. Whether that be in 5 games or whether that be in 6 or 7, who knows? But it should be the Oilers dictating the series, not the Kings. Last year, I think it was pretty even match, and then Connor McDavid called game in Game 7, but we all get that one. That was a beauty, and we won't have to worry about that again, hopefully this year. Rick, welcome in. Dakota, welcome in, and Big Wells, welcome in as well. It's just one of those things. I guess that's the keys, right? Go out there and win it as quick as you possibly can, and just get the job done, so as you avoid the injuries and all that. And then number 2, the key to the series is, and I think all of us would be realistic on this aspect, how good will Stuart Skinner be throughout the entire playoffs? How good will Stuart Skinner be in game one? That's, I think, my biggest question because, right, it's his first playoff game. Rookie in the NHL, put up a rookie of the year kind of caliber season, right? If he's not number one in voting, he'll be number two or three somewhere, I would imagine. And number two for the Oilers, too, in that is just, right, game one did not go well last year. So, how do you expect game one to go this year? I'm hoping the Oilers figure it out and go way better in game one this year. But again, you've got a goalie who isn't tested, a goalie who you don't know what you're going to get out of. So there is still that potential for that to happen. But Nate, yeah, as you're saying, sweeping them in four would be nice. That's the thing, right? So just game one dictates so much for us, I think is my key point. Game one will dictate so much for the Edmonton Oilers. It's not even funny through the playoff series. Why is that? Well, if you start off game one, you probably win, right? Now you've won one on home ice. Now, right, you've taken it to a 3-3 situation where there's 3 games at home, 3 games on the road, but you still have home ice advantage. So that's not a bad thing at all. And obviously, we'd like to see what the Edmonton Oilers can do the rest of the way home here in the series after that. So that would be where right now, win game one, worry about game two when you get to game two, worry about game three when you get to game three. But if you win game two, if you win game one and then win game two, things are looking really good. But if you win game one, things look about as best as they possibly can to start. And like I said, you want to win in five, that's probably a good recipe to do it. Don't lose game one unless you're facing the Calgary Flames. That's just me, but hey. So that's where we would find ourselves in that. And in terms of everything else, I think honestly, right? The Kings are a better team this year, is what everybody's been pitching my way, but so are the Oilers, right? The Oilers were a good team last year. The Kings were a decent team last year. The Oilers are a great team this year, and the Kings are a pretty good team this year. So that's how I'd crack it down. I will have to try and repeat that for somebody on some kind of playoff preview, I'm sure, at some point this weekend, but that's kind of what you have to think right now, right? The Oilers and Kings went to the brink in game 7 last year, and Connor McDavid was able to call game. Obviously, we just watched Connor McDavid put up the most unreal season we have seen since the days of Lemieux and Gretzky, but I guess Stevie Y and all those guys. But you think about it, right? It's been a long dang while since somebody did that. And for the Oilers now, it's just about going out and getting that job done. So, friends, as we're nearing that 8-minute mark and I can't hold my phone any longer, we're going to head off here and get this job done. But that's just some quick playoff thoughts. I know I needed to get something up here before going for dinner. So, hope you appreciated this, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. And we'll talk fully later on when we break down the whole entire NHL stuff as I come up with my NHL bracket. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that won't be until post Avalanche versus whoever, I think Nashville at the end of tonight. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Stall TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm up on out of here.